Okay, so your tables from SPSS need to be APA style. And probably the most important part of APA style is getting rid of the color. We need to be in black and white. Journals will sometimes accept color graphs and they'll charge you for them. They'll tell you, we'll create a special page for your graphs and it will only cost you a few $1,000s. So, yeah, that's why I like to go with black and white. So, come in to your Edit tab. You can open any spreadsheet that you like. And here in Edit, come all the way down to Options. And we are going to move to the middle here and look at the chart options. Okay, here in chart options, I'm going to change this to Times New Roman. There are 2 or 3 general fonts that are accepted in APA style. And this is your chance to choose the one that you want to use. But I like Times New Roman. Okay, and then for the cycle preference, yours probably right now says cycle through colors only. We're going to change that to cycle through patterns only. Okay, and then let's click OK. And let's just make a graph now and see how different it looks. And on purpose, I've chosen this data set, the biggest liar data set that Field has out on his website, because I want to show you how pretty these patterns are, almost as pretty as the colors. Okay, so here is the mean of the creativity of these contestants. And here we have 6 different categories, their position in the competition. And so that means I need 6 different patterns to show up in my chart. And sure enough, I've got it. I've got this plain one. I've got diagonal stripes, these dots, this checkerboard, these vertical stripes, this crisscross pattern. And literally, SPSS can come up with hundreds more if that's how many variables you have. So make sure that you go in through the Edit tab and the Options tab and change this option. Then after that, SPSS gives you bold labels here. So left click these to bring up a properties window. Or actually, I like to left click, excuse me, to bring up select. And I'm going to look at all my axis titles. And I'm going to put them in Times New Roman here. You have so many to choose from, but I like Times New Roman. And then also, I'm going to make them normal rather than bold. Likewise, the minimum that they can be is an 8 in terms of font size. You might even go to 10 or 12. It depends on how big your table is going to be in the paper. Usually tables take up maybe a quarter of a page, and so you need a pretty big font size. Okay, I'm going to apply this and close this window. And now look, sure enough, my chart no longer is bold, and these are a larger size. Now wait a minute. I'd say these little labels here are too small. So let me go back in, left click, select, and let's see if I can change my axis labels here. Instead of a 6, let's make them a 10. Let's tell SPSS my preferred size is a 10. We'll see if SPSS will cooperate with me. They look a little bigger. What do you think? So now I close again. Okay, I think my chart's a little more readable. I've got these to be larger because in general the APA rule is if your paper is in font 12, you want to try to get the labels in your charts to a font 10 so that it's just 2 numbers below the font in your table. I will be flexible on this, and I found that journals tend to be a little flexible too. For example, this grid over here is much more difficult to make larger. and that's okay. But go ahead and work on getting rid of the bold, getting into a Times New Roman font with a 10-point size, and getting rid of the color so that you have patterns here. And this will be very appropriate for your final papers and for the assignment. Thanks for doing this. I know it's a lot of work, and I hope it's fulfilling for you.